Alright class, I just wanted to spend a little time showing you how to set up a reference page and how to put together a reference page citation on a source that I find from the KU library. So what I wanted to do is just to walk you through it both on a Word document and with some online tools. So what I have here is I'm in my KU campus homepage, and I'm first going to go to the KU library. So I went to My Studies and I'm clicking on Library. It's going to open up a new window and go right to the KU library. I think that the library has come a long way, and I think it's an awesome resource to students. And you can do keyword searches, you can do title searches, and author searches. Now some people still have a little bit of a hard time with the search engine, mostly because there's so much information at the KU library. So one of the things that we try out is using what's called Google Scholar. This is another search engine that you can use to find sources. So here it is. People are used to the Google search engine, so it makes it a little bit easier. But what I'm going to do is just going to do a keyword search. And I have several sources that have popped up. Now, what I have learned from using Google Scholar sometimes that we find sources that actually end up costing money to access them. So one of the things I like to do is actually copy a title and put it into a search here at the KU library. So then I can scroll through and find it. This has a book review of the book that I'm looking at, but I'm actually not finding the book. So I'm going to look at a different source. You might be able to actually click on this and find the book, which I can here in Google Books, which is great. But I want to actually use the KU library. So I'm going to find one that might work better. I know that this one is one that I can use, so I've read it before. So not only does it do a keyword search, but I can also do a title search, an author search, so you can find lots of fun things through the KU library. And if you prefer a Google search first, use Google Scholar, and then you can go through to the library and find that same source, like here it is right here, but free for you to use at any point. So there are Google Books, which we saw with the first source that we looked at, which is great. And if you wanted to then get a review of that book, we have some here in the KU library. So there's just a lot of options on finding sources, using keyword searches, or using actual title searches. But I just think it's good to know just different things that you can do to find source material. So first of all, we have the KU library. Next, I want to start setting up my reference page. So I would open up my document. Of course, it's going to have your actual paper there. But to format my reference page, the first thing I'm going to do is center the first line and type the word references. I've noticed here that my font is not the correct font, so I'm going to highlight that, change it to Times New Roman. And while I'm here, I'm going to go ahead and double space my document and just make sure that my spacing is correct. Should have 0 before, 0 after, double, sounds great. Okay, I'm going to press enter to start the next line, and the reference page citation should be left justified, so I've moved that over. And of course, as we remember from the last video I made, you need to change the margins for a reference page citation by indenting the second line and making the first line flush with the left margin. So that's what I've done there. So now my document's all set up, ready to go. Now I just need to cite my source. I already have it here from the KU library. This page is actually telling me all the information I need to create the citation, and then I can come over here to the full text and read the actual document. I'm not going to do that right now, but this is what I need to know to cite the source. So there are a couple ways to find out how to cite. This is a journal article, which we can see here, International Journal of Consumer Studies. So we know it's a journal article. So I can go to My Studies and go to the Academic Support Center. From here, I'm going to scroll down to the Writing Center and go to the Writing Reference Library. This is an awesome source for students to utilize, the Writing Center, and this Writing Reference Library has a plethora of links to different types of writing help. And we're going to scroll down actually to the part that's about citation, which is right here. And there's just a lot of great documents. You have basic citation guidelines, we have manuscript style, we have a sample APA research paper, APA advanced citation the easy way. So this is just a lot of different documents. There's podcasts, there are videos. There's a video here on avoiding plagiarism. So just a lot of great resources available to you for APA citation and other forms of writing help. So this is the first place to go to find information about citing. Now I have a couple other sources online that I think that are worth looking at. So the first one I want to look at is actually called apastyle.org, and this is APA's actual website, and I think that this is a very nice source. You can buy the manuals themselves through here. They are available on Kindle, so that's kind of a cool source. But what I like to use actually is here under Learning APA Style, and I just clicked on the wrong thing. But Learning APA Style and then the basics of APA Style, I'm going to click on that and view a tutorial. This opens up an Adobe Presenter tutorial. It's actually audio, so I paused it real fast there. But there are several slides of audio details about APA style. So it's not just citation, it's the format using headers, and you can scroll through here and see all the different titles. We have reducing bias, citing references, and also the reference list. We have a sample paper available. So just a lot of great information here through APA's website. So this tutorial is great to utilize. I do all the time. So that's one source that you can use outside of the Writing Center. And one more. This is a website that I hope that Kaplan will try to make something similar. It's called citationmachine.net. And I actually like the old site. They've revamped this a bit, and I think the old site is a little better. So I'm going to go there. The only problem is that this source has a lot of advertisements. It's a little bit annoying, but it's still very helpful. So I like to go here. We're probably going to have some interesting additions of some advertisements. But the Summit Citation Machine is a source that I used in college. It's basically something that can get you started on formatting your reference page citations. I wouldn't say that it's right all the time, so you always need to cross-reference. Make sure you use the apastyle.org website and also our Writing Center information. Those are going to be definitely correct, and this is just something that makes life a little easier for you. So I'm going to go ahead and click on APA, which is what we do. And as you can see, we have a list of different types of sources here in the middle. And then if you go to the left-hand side, there is a menu of print sources, and as you scroll down, non-print sources. Now we know that what I have is an online journal article. I'm going to go ahead and click on that. So what Citation Machine does is basically takes you step by step on what information you need to know for citing the source, and you just fill in the blanks, which is kind of a neat element to utilize. So I'm just going to make these pages separate, make life a little bit easier here. So I just want to walk you through using Citation Machine with the source that I chose. Notice there are 5 authors, and I only have one box here. So I'm actually going to come up and click on the plus button until I have 5 authors. Space is available. So there we go. So now I have the space available, and you just follow the directions. We have authors' names, and it tells you to put the last name and the initials, last name, initials. It has the year published, the title of the article, and it says capitalize the first word and the first after the colon, which would, if a title has a colon. Title of the periodical, enter as printed on the document, details, the volume, issue, and page numbers, the digital object identifier, and the web address. So basically now I just have to go through and find the information. So I'm going to click in my box and start typing away. And you really need to put these in order in which the authors are presented in the list, not necessarily in alphabetical order. Now we have the year published, and I can see over here it's 2005. The title of the article is Creative Teachers and Creative Teaching Strategies. The title of the periodical is International Journal of Consumer Studies. Volume number 29, issue number 4, page numbers right here, 352 to 350A. Digital object identifier. So I'm going to scroll down, see if I can find that. Oh, there it is. I'm actually just going to go here and copy it. That's a lot to type out. Paste it there, and then if I want to have the URL, I'm actually going to look at the full text of the document, come up here to the address bar, copy the URL. I'm going to paste it right there into the citation. Now, I have filled in all the boxes. And what I get to do next is click the button that says Make Citation. Ta-da! Isn't that great? So it made for me a reference page citation, and it also made for me an in-text citation, which is not completely correct because it doesn't have the actual page number. If you have a quote, you need to make sure you include the page number that you got the information from. But otherwise, I have this great citation. I'm going to copy it, and then I'm going to my document and just clicking in the document and pasting it there. So as you can see, I have a clear citation. Of course, I'm going to double check to make sure my format is correct through the Writing Center documents. But you can see I have my author names, the date that it was published, the name of the article, the name of the journal, the volume and issue number, the page numbers, and then the digital object identifier. If it doesn't have a DOI, then you would use that address from the URL, and it would say retrieved from, and get that address and find it there, and then just paste it there. So it looks like it changed a little bit of my formatting, so I'm going to make sure that my formatting is correct. There we go. So that was making a reference page citation using the tools that we have available to us. And like I said, don't just leave it as is with Citation Machine. Make sure you double check with your other sources available to you, just to make sure that everything worked out all right. One thing to keep in mind when you're using Citation Machine is if you don't have some of this information, you can actually just leave it out. For instance, if I didn't have that year, I can just delete it, make citation, and it adds in there the no date. So you see, it makes up for it if you leave something blank. So it's okay if you don't have the information, all of it available to you, you can leave it blank and it should correct it. Now that's really when you need to start double checking. Another thing that might happen with this format is you might see 2 periods in a row or something like that. So you need to check the punctuation marks and line those up correctly. So just from glancing at this, it looks correct from my point of view, just from my experience. But make sure that you do cross-reference your citation. But it is a really great way to get a jump start on your citation and really understand what you need to know in order to create a clear reference page citation. So I have shown you how to set up a reference page in a Word document. I also showed you some different tools that you have available to you: the KU Library, Google Scholar, the KU Writing Center, as well as apastyle.org and citationmachine.net. If you have any questions, as always, feel free to give me a call or shoot me an email. Otherwise, I hope that this helps you along in our pursuits in this class. So thank you so much, and we'll see you in the discussion board. Bye.